Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing a book that I actually enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would, and that is Star Wars Thrawn by Timothy Zahn. Zahn? Timothy, we're gonna go with Zahn. So Thrawn was a character that was introduced to me during the Rebels series, the Rebels animated Star Wars series, and I really liked him because he seemed like an intelligent bad guy. Rebels was a show that seemed to me, and I believe it is, aimed for children, so none of the bad guys are going to be too spooky or too smart to the point where the main characters, your ragtag band of rebels, are going to not be able to defeat them. However, I was really intrigued by Thrawn because the way he was written was a very intelligent villain who was always one step ahead of the rebels, and I really liked it because I feel like I'm not used to seeing smart bad guys in that manner, or smart villains in that manner, in the Star Wars series. So when I inquired about him, people were telling me, oh well, there was a series written back in, I believe, the 90s, and there's a more recent series. So when I saw this in the library, I decided to check it out and give it a read. Now, I had been told when I got this book out of the library that the original series written back in the 90s were ones that people tended to prefer. That was just the opinion of the people around me at the time, so I thought this might be like a solid 3-star read. Interesting, but maybe not great. There's people behind me. I, however, wound up loving this book. This was like a 4-star read for me. I enjoyed the entire book. I enjoyed the entire read. It's it looks really big, but it actually reads really fast, so I found that very enjoyable, and I just enjoyed every minute of this book. So this series takes place, it starts with the discovery of Thrawn, and the entire story, or the part that involves Thrawn, is told from the point of view of this aide that he has working with him named Eli Vanto. So it's not, or it is rarely told from Thrawn's like first person perspective. And there is a B plot which involves a character who I did not recognize until about 3/4 of the way through a book, in which she was referred to by a title, which immediately then I was like, oh wait, I do know this character. So up until 3/4 of the way through the book, I just thought she was like the B plot, the subplot, like the minor character who's kind of doing her own thing that kind of tied in with Thrawn, but she's actually someone who, if you're familiar with the Star Wars universe, you have seen before. So there is another character, another story that's going on alongside, but I would mainly focus on Thrawn when I was reading this because that was the reason I checked the book out, and that's the reason that's what I was here to read. So I really enjoyed this book, as I was saying. I thought that it was really well done. I thought that it was engaging. The situations they put in were very interesting, and I liked seeing the way Thrawn thought through things and worked through things. I'm not really sure why the author chose to tell the story through Eli Vanto's perspective. I'm not sure if Eli Vanto has, I couldn't place him. I haven't looked him up online or anything, but I haven't placed him in the Star Wars universe. I don't know if he comes more into play in the future. I don't know if he's going to play a role, if the author just liked to have that outside perspective of someone working close to him as he told it, or if Eli becomes someone a little bigger or someone a little more important in the future, and that's why we're seeing the story from his perspective. I'm not really sure. The one little con that I didn't like is I felt like some of the time jumps weren't really natural. I feel like it was kind of like the plot kind of fumbled a little bit when I had to jump time, but because we were working from the time Thrawn was discovered to the time that he came into the Imperial Navy, to then his training, to getting out, to getting his first command, and to working his way up, they kind of had to do some time jumps. Otherwise there would be a lot of time in here that, I don't know, the author wanted to cut for various reasons. So I did find that some of the time jumps were a little choppy, but overall I felt like once the author got through the time jump, the section at the beginning of the chapter where he kind of indicated that a time jump had occurred, the story went back to flowing and was more or less smooth. So I really recommend this series. I haven't read the book series that the author wrote in the 90s, which is apparently the first time the character was introduced. I would love to read them. I'm gonna have to see if my library has them, but I really enjoyed this first book, and I'm looking forward to reading, I believe they have a second and third book in this series, so I'm going to be reading that. If anyone else has read this series or recommends anything like this, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, everyone, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.